Is Tatu out of a job? That's a very inflammatory way to start this video, and it's not my intention. Welcome to the Monster Spotlight on Wind Ivor. She's the new unit that detonates dots, and she perked up a lot of ears when she was first announced in the most recent dev note preceding the Assassin's Creed collab. And my ears were also included in the perked up list. Let's start by talking about her skills before we find out whether or not she has a place on the dot team. Ivor's first skill hits 2 times and has a low chance to apply defense break on both hits. Well, it's looking pretty good. That's a very valuable debuff. Her second skill hits 3 times to try to apply a 2-turn dot with each one. It starts out as a coin flip, but that chance to apply dots increases to 70% after skill ups. Now we're starting to see a semblance of synergy out of her kit. I'm feeling the dots. Lastly, her third skill, Rage of Helheim, hits 4 times. The first 3 hits are going to try to apply a 1-turn dot, and the fourth one is going to detonate every single stack of continuous damage that the target has on them. You'll notice 2 things about that. One is that unlike her second skill, there is no activation chance for these dots. So it's going to try to apply them just guaranteed. They can still be resisted, but thank the gods, they're always going to try to be applied. Number 2 is that it only detonates the continuous damage stacks on the target that you hit. So that means a single monster. Noted. As for runes, after skill ups, that third skill is going to go down to a 4-turn cooldown. So Violent is great for her because it's going to keep her cooldowns coming back online faster than they normally would. If you're using her for PvE as part of the dot team, then you may want to consider runing her on HP accuracy on her 2, 4, and 6 slots. If you're using her for something outside of the PvE realm, something like guilds, arena, etc., then you could consider doing speed, HP with accuracy in the subs. Now the reason that I recommended using HP on slot 2 is that if you're using her as part of the dot team, you want to allow time for your Saths and your Melias to apply dots before she comes in, applies her own, and detonates. Unless you're trying to rune her on speed and high roll proccing into skill 3 detonation, but that's gonna probably be few and far between. Now on to artifacts. When you're putting artifacts on Wind Ivor, you want to focus on substats that give you bonus accuracy on your skill 2 and your skill 3. Her whole job is going to be landing and detonating dots, so if she can't do that, then she's not contributing to the best of her ability. As for the main stats, it doesn't really matter too much, but more HP and defense is always a blessing. Now the question is, does she have a place on the dot team? In my time testing with her on the GB12 dot team, I found that she was really good at annihilating the mid-boss, even if Tatu derped. She also has the added benefit of being the opposite element of the boss. So that means that she's gonna get glanced on most of the time when the boss revenges. Now with that said, she does hit a lot. So that makes her more likely to be the one to actually proc the counterattack from the giant, which could technically be a blessing in disguise, because if he's counterattacking her, then he's not counterattacking Sath and Tatu. Ivor does have a tendency to slightly slow down runs, but if you're new to the game and you've started making your dot team and you haven't gotten around to fusing one of the other components, or if maybe you've been using a water homunculus, you may want to try using Wind Ivor in your approach along with Veramos, Sath, Tatu, and Amelia. She can also be used in Punisher's Crypt number 10 if you're using the dot team with that, though just be careful. There's a lot of variance with the dot team in Punisher's Crypt 10 because the whole team revolves around giving the boss turns, so if you can't handle the counterattacks, get out of Punisher's Crypt. And still others are using her in Guild Siege and having a blast. But have you summoned one? Where are you using Wind Ivor? Let me know in a comment down below. I'd love to hear your feedback.